we back again. I've been slacking pretty damn hard on the video one here lately. Work's been slow, weather's been shit, so we just kind of ain't been riding a whole lot. Cody and Jeremy, they ended up going out and riding, so they went around and did a little video for you guys at Windrock. However, my last couple times of putting around here at the house and Moonlight and a few other little places, I've had a familiar incident happen of it ain't got no diff in it. So it hasn't broke yet, but it hasn't been treating me nicely. So if you watch the Hawk Pride stuff, it ripped the bolts out of the bottom of the diff at Hawk Pride, and I fixed them, put Healy coils in them, new bolts, made sure everything was right length, all that good jazz. Everything's mounted flat. Took it to Moonlight, lasted like 4 hills, ripped the bolts out of it again. So now we are at the edge of gonna need a new case, because they got, between the Healy coils and everything else getting ripped out of it, the holes are pretty well toast. We did get it tapped out to a 5/8 bolt. We're going to put 4 of those in there. We ended up tapping 2 more holes here. I had a little bit of a mess up with the punch and didn't get that one in the center, so it's a little smaller than this one, but no big deal. I'm thinking about maybe putting another one over here and right here. I'm not sure yet, but I believe the fix to all of this, hopefully, is going to be what I come up with: a bracket that is going to bolt on the side of the cover here after it's in the car, and have another bracket inside the frame that will sandwich together and keep this thing from moving. Because I think I've broken 4 drive shafts now, and Jeremy has gotten me the parts Jeremy has gotten me the parts to build everything out of the 1310 U-joint that is the bigger of the 1310. It's like the ones you'd find in a CV axle, like a front of an F-150 or like some of your Jeep stuff. It's the bigger of the 1310 joints. So hopefully those should never ever break again. They are massive. I've been running one in the rear for a little bit, but as this goes back together this time, it's going to get the full 1310 drive shaft from Jeremy and 3 Hands Fab. Be looking for those to come on the market soon. We're still trying to test them. I want to break a transmission shaft before we sell them. I feel like we're going to offer a warranty and everything with them, but I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor of whose stuff you buy. Is I want to tell you that the transmission is now the weak link, and we know in everyone that's had an X3, transmission is usually never the weak link, but that's where we want to move it to. RCV does make a 300M output shaft. I might go ahead and throw one of them in on mine, because mine, after 6,500 miles, I noticed when we were building the rear drive shaft, my output shaft on the transmission is bent. Hard to believe I'm hard on stuff, but here we are. So might go ahead and do that upgrade too, because we're going to BMR. I think it's going to be like the next big group ride for us. Probably going to try to put a little beat down on it at Moonlight or something, maybe beforehand, just to try to get all the bugs worked out and make sure I ain't got no issues before we go down there and look like idiots again like last year and break the pinion off of the diff like I did last year 5 minutes into the ride. So, but enough of me rambling. Hopefully this is going to be the fix for the moving of the weak link that we found with the Performance diff. I have talked to those guys. They know what's going on. He's talking about upgrading or making the bolts when he makes them a little bigger, so hopefully that'll help it not rip out initially. But I'm not sure what we're going to find. We're finding new weak links that we've never had before, so never had this issue out of the Halo. Halo did usually break, or I never really broke a whole lot of drive shafts before. Now I'm breaking drive shafts every time we go out, so maybe it's just me being a little harder on the old right foot. but I'm not sure. I don't think it's really a material issue or anything like that. I do just think that we're moving the weak link to something else, and I think it just so happens to be the bolts that hold the diff down. So hopefully we can get this figured out, and then if this does end up being a fix-all for it, may end up having somebody go in and laser cut a mounting plate that I believe you can make it work to where it will bolt on the upper control arm bolts, and then it could all essentially just bolt right in. That's going to be a much later date thing, but hopefully we get it fixed. One other thing we did find with it, and I got a couple pictures of it. Talked to Scott at Proformance, and he thinks that either the bearings have wore in a little bit or it didn't get shimmed tight enough when he was building it. But I have been flexing the ring gear, and the ring gear has been hitting the case. I got a couple pictures of that we can show you. I'll throw those in here real quick for you. But like I say, we have been flexing the ring gear, so I'm hoping we don't start exploding cases, because that's not going to be any good in our point. So I know he talked about this case, side case, is much thinner than what he would like, but they tried to make everything as small and as modification free to fit it in the factory X3. But that might be something that we're going to find that's the next weak length once we got a drive shaft that don't give up, upgraded transmission output shaft, and the Cobras are taking it, so I haven't had no issues out of those yet. I've rarely ever even broken a rear one in it, so I feel like it's going to be pretty hard pressed to break a front one, but we shall see. We're going to keep holding the pedal down on it and finding what's next to the weak link stuff, so you guys can try to catch it for you like me and spend a bunch of money and then spend a bunch of money again. So hopefully this will help you guys out if you have this and you're in this same predicament that I am. And we'll walk you through a little bit of this bracket that I'm going to make here. It's definitely not going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but I feel like it's definitely going to help try to keep that diff from rocking up. Like I say, because right now, whenever it's hitting the ground or landing in the throttle, it's trying to pull itself out of the mounting hardware. So if I have a bracket up here that's braced everything, it should keep that from picking up, because it essentially can't go anywhere then. But hopefully that's going to be the solving to the issue. Other than that, no real big issues with it. I am going to be looking for a new turbo here soon. The old girl's starting to get pretty tired, and a few of the people that I want to ride with again, definitely going to need some more horsepower. So definitely going to be looking into the E85 big turbo and try to make a few extra ponies to the tire and see what she got for them old girls again. So, but we'll try to get this diff brace made up and see what we can come up with. So come on. Alrighty, well, I'll give you a little halfway update with what I've came up with so far. I believe it's going to do the trick. I ended up making a little bracket here that bolts into these top 3 bolts where the side cover bolts into. Got that put in there. I was going to come all the way down and catch everything, but I think that's just going to be a little too much for what it's worth. And then I'm going to put, it's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to put this piece of angle in there, and it will sandwich together right there, and that'll have a clamp bolt in the top, and that'll be how I bolt it and unbolt it. Hopefully it doesn't even need the thing, but this is where we're at, and I know if I pull those bolts out again, I'm going to be buying a case, so don't want to do that. Haven't priced the case, but I mean, the diff's like $4 grand, so sure the case is probably half of that. So don't want to do that. So we're trying to take time and make a brace for it while we got some downtime. So we'll get the thing ripped back out of there again, get everything tacked up, cleaned up, and all that good stuff, and we'll let you see the final product here in just a second. Alrighty, well, another day later. Ended up getting a bracket all made. Figured we'd show you what to come up with before we got it all buried in the car in there, because it's about 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound box, but we ended up getting something I think is going to work, and it's going to have to break a lot of stuff to come out of there now. So I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to have to tear up some more stuff. So we ended up making a bracket that is going to bolt on the top 3 holes, just like that. And then it's going to have, it has a plate inside the car that is bolted or welded into the frame flat. So this is sitting flat and it sits right up against this, so it has no room to move. It's got a little bit of gusseting in here and on there to try to keep this mount from flexing. So it's going to have to shear all 3 of those bolts off, and then it's going to have to shear or pull out 6 bolts that are in the bottom. So if she comes out of there now, I don't know what to do with it next. We'll have to go back to the drawing board and go from there, but I think that's going to be the fix. But we're going to go ahead and get her thrown back in the car, and I'll give you guys a final update, and then let you guys know where we're going next, because we've been out of riding for a while. Work's been slow as shit, so the extra play money's had to sit. All the good life things going on, I'm sure everybody knows how that goes, but hopefully we're going to go back riding again. Got a lot of cool places coming up this year. Can't wait to go to. I know BMR is on the list. I kind of think that's going to be the first destination for the whole group. If you guys haven't been to that, definitely go back and check out the videos we got from last year from there. Definitely a cool place. Got the shocks a little more dialed in this year, so hopefully, I know Derek sold his tube chassis, but hopefully I can be Derek's hero this year and get a little redemption on that hero line down there next to Viagra. So there's been some thoughts spinning in my head of first 2-seater up Bobby Tanner line. Took me a minute to remember what it was called, but that's going to be a doozy if she can do it. But see how that goes. See how the car reacts once we get down there, if we get parts to stay in it. But that would definitely be a pretty wicked, pretty big accomplishment for me to take the first 2-seater up Bobby Tanner line, especially since it's stock Can-Am wheelbase, I guess. I think it's like an inch longer, so it's like 103. But we didn't do that for any benefit. We just did it for ease of putting the control arm mounts when we built the bulkhead. But I'm sure at some point we'll probably venture back over to Nasty Girl and try to come up with some dumb ideas there, but I don't know if the old girl's got the horsepower for it, and the turbo and E85 and all the other good stuff ain't quite in the budget yet, so. But it's coming. Turbo's definitely going to go on the old girl this year at some point. This one's got like 6,000 miles on it. She's been tired for a while. She goes through a little bit of oil every now and then, so. But enough of me rambling. Get this old girl thrown back in the car and let you guys check it out. Come on. Alrighty, well, I ain't gonna bore you with the whole putting the suspension back together, because I'm sure if you're at the point of putting a Proforma diff in this thing and putting a brace in the Proforma diff, you probably know how to do that. If not, you'll figure it out. But let you guys check out what I come up with for the brace and see what it looks like. So, should work. I think it's gonna turn out pretty decent, so should do what it's supposed to do. So like I say, it's bolted in these 3 here. That brace fits right nice and tight up against the case, and it's got a bar in the top there that you can kind of see up in there. But like I say, it's got that in there now, and then it's got all those bolts holding it in. So if it falls out now, I don't know what to do, but it's gonna tear up a lot of shit when it comes out of there now. So hopefully now we move to breaking the transmission output shaft, which is what I wanted to do for a while now. Sounds stupid that I want to break stuff, but with Jeremy's new drive shafts and everything else. Hopefully that is now the week length. We're gonna see if the old Cobra 3s hold it or not. It's a King Cobra level 3 axles. A lot of them say they don't fit in a 72. I don't have any issues with the inner CVs hitting anything. As far as my upper control arms, I don't have boxed upper control arms, so maybe that's some of the difference. And then I have a lot of suspension droop taken out of my shocks, so it don't have as much travel as most do. But as far as that goes, but appreciate the hell out of you guys watching. Be sure to stay tuned. We're gonna see if we can break something in this old girl. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna take that little 200 horsepower that she makes and see if it'll take it wicked with 32s. So come on. Alrighty, well, as you can tell, it's nice and cold, or I mean it's sunny and 75 out, right? So we got the diff back in it. So far so good. Had it out a couple days here cruising around the house. It hasn't fallen out yet, so that's a plus. I believe the mount's still working, but it's been like 10 degrees outside, so I haven't rode a whole lot, but I'm gonna try to come out here and finish up the video of ripping around in some snow. About to get pelted with a snowball. About to end up in the pond. So, and yeah, try to rip around the snow a little bit for you. Got the 360 camera. Hopefully that thing will make a couple cool shots and we'll go from there. Come on. Well, hopefully the 360 got some decent stuff, because I got wrecked in snow. Braden got wrecked with snow. There's about 80 pounds of it in the inside. Mitchell's gonna go see if he can roll over his new Trail S. Must be so nice to be able to see when you're doing that. Let's get like a face full. probably got her up to 50 miles by now. That's good for break-in. Getting a little light on the inside.
Woo!
You didn't roll over yet, so that's a plus.
Oh, she almost did. I felt it.
We'll see if I can dethaw my face. Probably let Braden go rip around a little bit and see if we're gonna do anything else dumb in the snow. Come on. Can't see. It's just gone. The earth disappears. That Can-Am life. Typical Can-Am stuff, just point and shoot and pray. You don't need to see. There went the trees. Well, and a side note, I didn't know this feature that we had on. Apparently we can start baling hay with this thing because she's got a little bit of everything everywhere. So does a good job of picking up any loose grass. If you need your yard mowed, just let me know. We do real nice top clearing land. So come on. Alrighty, well, I'm a little snowy again, and we parked her on top of the hill, and that is how you blow a belt in the snow. So, a couple, 3 back-to-back laps. She ejecto belto, cuz. Oh yeah, real nice and warm. So, we'll get her swapped out and go see if we can make her back to the house. Come on. Alrighty, well, hopefully that's going to do it for today's garage video. Run you through a quick little recap. Found a little bit more with the belt than just a normal belt, of course. As you can see, there's a little bit of a hole there, and a little bit of a hole down there. So, blue belt, that belt's used. It's been to Wellsville a couple times. Tripped around the house here quite a bit. I've been pretty mean to it. That's the first belt I've blown since I put those STM clutches on it. I think that's only the second or third belt that I've put on it since then. So I bought those clutches used. I am going to get them sent out just to kind of get them freshened up, just to make sure we don't have any reoccurring issues. Not mad about it, just kind of one of those things that I bought them used, and I know they needed a few things when I got them, and they lasted me probably 1,500, 2,000 miles if I had to guess of pretty aggressive driving. So can't be mad at that. But side note, the diff is still in it, so that's a huge plus. I'd say it's got probably 2 or 3 hours of runtime on it now. I've been ripping around four-wheel drive donuts, all that good stuff. As you guys seen in the snow, I've been climbing a few things here around the house. Nothing real crazy around here, but just trying to do a few things before we take it out on a big trip and have issues out of it. But like I say, the bracket and everything's still holding in there, and still got all the bolts in it. We'll throw a torque wrench on there and make sure they're all still good and tight, and wait on the weather to break. Hopefully get some of the ice chipped off of this thing or melted off of it here one of these days. But appreciate the hell out of you guys watching. Be sure and stay tuned. We're gonna have some good stuff coming up this year. Hopefully, we've got a lot of big trips and a lot of big plans. So hopefully we can start making it all happen here as soon as the weather breaks and get work back flowing and all the other good stuff. So appreciate the hell out of you guys watching. Come on.